Moving into the academic committee. So we have an information agenda item for number 7, and that's the report on faculty performance review, which Mr. Mason Campbell will present.
Thank you, Chair Bigger. I want to just note that those Ghost puts a couple green lines on the screen. That's not us subconsciously marking through anything. I think they're working on getting that fixed. So Arkansas Code and AHEC board policy require that each college and university conduct annual performance reviews of faculty members. Our staff are responsible for monitoring the review process and make an annual report to the coordinating board and legislative council. These reports outline the various methods in which institutions use to evaluate faculty performance, such as student evaluations, self-evaluations, peer reviews, and direct classroom observations. The reports also provide some insight into the performance review cycle in terms of process and supports and findings. The expectation is that institutions will conduct rigorous, consistently applied annual reviews of all faculty members. And just as it was demonstrated in previous years, institutions are doing great work in this area. These reports are comprehensive and mostly speak to the specific ways in which institutions monitor and review their process and make improvements and the results of those processes. There's a substantial amount of information worth noting in these reports. We usually just like to summarize a couple of the findings here. As always, institutions continue to implement training, faculty development for both new and current faculty members. Several institutions noted implementation and improvement of assessment evaluation software. Online course development, faculty support continues to be an important area of focus. Many institutions noted the expansion and improvement of the peer review components. And then there's a specific clause in the policy that requires reporting on how well colleges of education are collaborating with accredited public schools, and all the institutions demonstrated or exceeded those expectations. For the 2023-2024 academic year, all institutions have submitted a report to ADHE that describes the faculty review process. Those institutional reports are on file, and our staff can provide copies upon request. And this items for informational purposes, and this concludes my report. Any questions?
Questions on this item? Moving along to information agenda item number 8, and that is the report on the academic program review, which will be presented by Mr. Mason Campbell.
Thank you, Chair Bigger. Arkansas Code and higher ed coordinating policy require review of academic programs through the establishment of a formal process to identify any programs not meeting the minimum standards of quality. Simply put, all of our academic programs must go through this process. Our standards require programs to be reviewed on a 7 to 10 year cycle, and institutions submit schedules to academic affairs staff to ensure that all of the programs adhere to the timeline. Academic programs with program-specific discipline types of accreditation do not need to undergo a separate review or self-study to meet our standards. We accept those types of accreditations. There's usually equally or more stringent than our internal institutional self-study. And academic programs without those program-specific accreditations must conduct an internal self-study with at least one external reviewer or consultant and must include a site visit. So this is some of the common information provided in the self-studies submitted by the institutions. You'll note that these elements are iterative of our other board policies, specifically our program approval process. So this is confirmation of the program's original promise to the board after it's been approved. And this policy and process are closely related to our academic program viability process. They're still currently actually embedded in the same policy, even though we plan to split them out. So essentially, program viability standards are a quantitative measure of the health of an academic program, and our program review measures and policy are the qualitative measures of health. These are the program reviews collected for academic year 23-24 up to this point. This year is the first back-to-back year this report has gone before the board. Previously, this report was delivered every other year, so every 2 years. And again, the review schedules are created by institutions. They're self-imposed. It's sometimes intentional for an institution to schedule years where no program reviews are scheduled or expected. We also have quite a few reviews still pending submission, and we're working with institutions to get those submitted. We have collected 119 program reviews thus far this year. We still hope to collect at least another 50. There's still a few institutions waiting on accreditors and external reviewers to get back to them. So as I mentioned last year, we put together a program review advisory group that's been working with us to update and improve the policy and the process. We actually meet with that group again this coming Monday. They help us maintain perspective and realistic expectations as we're trying to update the policy. We hope to bring policy changes to this board at the next quarterly meeting in October for this policy. At a high level, we're looking at adjusting the reporting timeline calendar a bit to make it more realistic for what institutions actually experience. And then we will be addressing the long-standing concerns around external reviewers in terms of who and how many institutions have to include in their reviews. And then one significant accomplishment since last year is that we have now included the program review schedules for all academic programs on our approved programs list that's available on the ADHE website, which not only brings a new level of transparency to the program review process, but it's also a tool that the institutions can use to increase collaboration and share resources. So that concludes my report.
One question on that. On the CIP numbers, are they getting any closer to coordinating those among institutions?
Among institutions. I don't know that I've seen among institutions. Among programs, we've seen a lot more
Well,
consistency
what about
across the state.
the courses themselves? Transferring from one institution to another, are the numbers corresponding, or are they each institution still numbering their own courses?
Course numbering is still an ongoing project. We have commonality among a set of about 100 ACE transfer courses, but transferability is not an issue in the state. Common course numbers still vary widely, except for the U of A system. They're on the cusp of common course numbering.
Dr. Cash,
system-wide.
so Common Course Codes is on our radar, and UA system has gone through a process and aligned all their course numbers to a standard schema of, you know, how the numbers go about, what the digits, the dashes, and the numerical or alpha, mean. I think there's appetite across the state to do that more broadly, and we're looking at that, working and been alongside UA system as they have implemented their process, and we think that there is opportunity to replicate that. We're not quite there yet, but it's something that we're marching toward, because I think at the end of the day, we have our Arkansas course transfer system. And so if you take a course here, it's good in any other public institution. There's about 100 of courses in there. We think we can do better. We think that number can be greater. We also think there's a lot of room for improvement in our more workforce or technical coursework to do the same. But that is on our list of things to do in the coming months, years. But so I'm very appreciative of the comment, and it's something that we are.
So we're still doing it by course name rather than common number that transfers to.
Right. So for instance, someone takes composition 1, at a college or university, it may be ENGL 1003 here. It may be ENG 103 there, but yes. So we're looking forward to standardize that, and even Secretary Leva, I hope you don't mind me taking this liberty, aligning those better to K-12. So coming out of K-12, how might that look? So there's a lot of that work is good work, but it's not easily done, as you know, having been on a college campus. Each campus and university has some separate treatments or courses that they have that are unique to them. It separates them in some cases and makes their program, attractive. So as you change one course number or 1 hour here, 1 hour there, it has a domino effect. And can affect other, not just that particular program or that course, those courses that make up the degree plan. So it's going to take a lot of work for our campuses to come along and do this. It sounds simple, but there's a lot of ripple effects of that, but it's something that we're going to work on.
It takes cooperation, first of all, a lot of cooperation.
Well, I'm pleased to say that not just UA System, the other schools that we have talked to have been eager to collaborate and figure out how we get it done. So,
Okay,
thank you.
good.
Any other questions? Thank you. Next on our agenda is items number 9 and 10. These are informational items, which include the Arkansas Public Institutions Letters of Notification and Letters of Intent. Ms. Tracy Harrell will present background information on these items.
Agenda item number 9 are the letters of notification received from Arkansas Public Institutions since April. These are reasonable and moderate extensions of existing approved degrees and certificates. They have been approved by the Commissioner of ADHE, but must be included on your agenda prior to initiation. As you can see here, we had 24 public institutions submit letters of notification that resulted in 186 actions affecting 147 unique programs of study. The majority of the changes or the actions that were requested this time are curriculum revisions. The full comprehensive breakdown is available to you in your board book, but if you should, this is not a vote item, but if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
Any questions on this?
Okay. Agenda item number 10 are the Arkansas Public Letters of Intent. We only had 2 this time, so the summary table is pretty short. Should in future see a new offsite instruction center and a new program come before you for vote. Again, this is not a voting item, but I'll be happy to answer any questions. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Information agenda items number 11 and 12. These are out-of-state and Arkansas private institutions, letters of notification and letters of intent. Ms. Colburn will provide background information for these agenda items.
Good morning. Agenda item number 11 is a list of minor changes from out-of-state and Arkansas private institutions. There were 4 out-of-state institutions that submitted requests for changes in their authorized programs, and 1 Arkansas private institution is changing locations. That institution is Jefferson Regional School of Nursing.
Any questions?
Okay. Agenda item number 12 is the out-of-state institutions that are submitting a notification that they will be submitting new programs in the future. There were 21 institutions that submitted the letters of intent.
One question on that, on each of those, really.
Mhm.
Do we have any idea of collecting data on enrollment?
Yes,
In
yes,
each
I
of
do
the
that.
show?
I do that every year, and I do a report in January on the enrollments and the tuition that's collected from the out-of-state and the Arkansas private institutions. And I'm happy to send you last year's report if you'd like.
Okay, so we can know how many students each school enrolls in
Yes.
each program.
Yes, we do. We collect that, their total enrollment and then by program.
Good,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind sharing that with
Sure.
us, that would be wonderful. Any additional questions? Okay, thank you. Seeing there are no action items, only information items during this academic committee, do I hear a motion to adjourn?